Before I officially introduce our keynote speakers, the Honorable Linda Langston and Dr. Stephen Farnsworth, I'd like to take a few minutes just to talk about an exciting new VACO program. This new service for members may well become one of our most popular offerings. It's a service designed to generate more revenue for your locality without higher taxes, something we can all get behind for sure. VACO is proud to announce the establishment of the VACO VML Virginia Investment Pool, a local government investment pool to be administered by VML VACO Finance. The Virginia Investment Pool, or VIP, is a pooled investment program for managing our local government funds that are available to be invested for 1 year or longer. VIP's expected rate of return is several times higher than what you may be earning in a money market fund. Yet, you can still access your funds on a semi-monthly basis. 5 counties are represented on the initial VI Board of Trustees, which are Arlington, Chesterfield, Prince William, Stafford, and Washington counties. The other members of the board or trustees include representatives from Chesapeake, Roanoke, Richmond, Suffolk, Christiansburg, and Smithfield. You will find more information on the VIP in your conference bags or by visiting VML VACO Finance Exhibit Booth 1005. We have also scheduled 6 information sessions to be held around the Commonwealth later this week, Wednesday through Friday. We hope you will take advantage of this new investment alternative. Also, as you participate in today's sessions, please take a moment to fill out the evaluation form by all means. They help us to plan for future events, and we always appreciate your comments. SunTrust is sponsoring a complimentary lunch in the exhibit hall at 12:45 today. This is also another opportunity for you to visit our exhibitors. They have many valuable services to offer counties. Remember, the exhibit hall closes at 3:30 p.m. The amended 2013 legislative program will be available soon after lunch. Please stop by the registration desk to get your copy. Now to our keynote speakers. I am most pleased to introduce the Honorable Linda Langston, President of the National Association of Counties and Supervisor on the Linn County Board of Supervisors in Iowa. Langston was elected NACO President on July the 22nd, 2013. She is leading NACO's efforts on Capitol Hill to protect the tax-exempt status of municipal bonds and other legislative and federal funding priorities such as reauthorization of the Farm Bill, immigration reform, and transportation infrastructure funding. Langston's presidential initiative is ready in resilient counties. Prepare, respond, and thrive. The initiative will focus on building a community's capacity to be ready, resilient, agile, and adaptive in the face of natural, man-made, and economic disaster. Her home county was devastated by floods in 2008. Active in NACO since 2003, Langston was first elected as a NACO officer in July 2011. Langston was elected to the Linn County Board of Supervisors in 2002. Born in Chicago, but raised in Iowa, Langston graduated from Knox College in Galesburg, Illinois with a degree in history, and in 2007, graduate of Harvard Kennedy School of Government for state and local officials. Linda and her husband, Dave, have 2 grown sons. Please welcome the Honorable Linda Langston. Linda?
Good morning. Jim told me after everyone is done for breakfast, there should be about 300 people in this room. So you're the lucky winners this morning to hear me. And then when the snow comes, you'll all leave before Matt speaks tomorrow. So we appreciate the opportunity to be here. We're going to cue up a video here, but just before we do, let me ask you this. So at home, when you ask any constituent if they know what it is you do, they all know, right? Raise your hands if you have at least 60% of your constituents who know exactly what you do. Well, yeah, Jim says raise taxes. I'm sure they all think you do that. But the fact of the matter is, if your county is anything like mine, You have a lot of constituents who are absolutely clueless about what it is you do. I would say even my sons are. They say, Mom, all you ever do is go to meetings and answer email. And I say, sadly, you're right. So NACO made a big effort to try to help you at home to understand what it is you do, what it is that counties do, and why it is that counties matter. So we'll cue up a video.
Why do counties matter? Simple. Counties provide the services we all depend on. If you're concerned about crime, get a regular flu shot. Drive to work. Take public transportation. Or experience a natural disaster in your community. Chances are you benefit from county services. That's why counties matter. With America's system of federalism, counties are a key level of government, serving the people directly. So, do you vote? Had a recent hospital stay? Know someone in a nursing home? More reasons why counties matter. There are 3,069 counties across the country, with populations big and small. Most of us live and work in one. Even the nation's capital is considered a county. These county governments ensure that the food you eat in restaurants is safe. They care for the mentally ill, run court systems, build local economies, and operate 911 emergency systems. They manage parks and recreation facilities, and the list goes on. Thing is, counties serve the American people in so many ways, keeping our communities healthy, vibrant, safe, and fiscally sound. That's why counties matter.
So that is indeed why counties matter, and if you want, you can download this video, because if you're like me, you also get requests from Rotary, Lions, Kiwanis, schools to come talk about what it is you do. And some of you may be better public speakers than others, and so we've saved you all the research effort. It's a short 2-minute video. You can download it on your laptop. You can put it on a thumb drive, so it's very easy to put out there. And it really does help, I think, to let people know in a very simple 2-minute way why it is that counties matter. So this is just one service that NACO has, and our goal is to keep telling not only our story at NACO, but it's essentially your story at home. We are going to focus on showcasing noteworthy practices, using solid research to support our policy positions. And remember, counties, at least in my estimation, are not about government, but they are about serving people and serving communities. So at NACO, we're also restoring partnerships with you, our state association partners, with federal agencies and officials, with foundations and thought leaders. And I keep telling Matt Chase he's almost beyond the point where he can call himself the new executive director, but we'll give him a pass for a little while longer. And he's been a great asset in helping us build those partnerships. So we will continue to fill your email box with useful information, research reports, legislative updates, and best practices. And I know we all get way more email than we need. But I would encourage you to take a look at some of those things. And if you're just tired of the email, call staff, because they're more than happy to help you with whatever it is that you need. There are other important issues on the horizon for counties at the federal level, including tax reform and the tax-exempt status of municipal bonds, immigration reform, the Farm Bill, and sequestration. We know that here in Virginia, the Marketplace Fairness Act is of particular importance, because it's tied to your road construction and maintenance. And if you've ever looked at a map, and we do partnerships with county engineers, if you look at a map of the US about deficient bridges, you'll find a lot of them in Iowa. So I really understand your pain. We have a lot of people who are just closing bridges and farmers who get upset because they have to go an extra 10 miles to get around. So we do understand how important that is. NACO has worked very long and hard on the Clean Water Act, and we will continue to do so. We know that that's important to you here in Virginia. There are many significant, important issues at the federal level for counties, and many of them are linked here in Virginia. Our ability to work with states in partnership lobbying for these issues makes us all more successful, and we will continue to work on other issues like the Social Services Block Grant and CDBG, which has benefited so many people in Virginia. NACO also has a variety of entrepreneurial member benefits that are valuable to you and to your constituents. We hope that you will take advantage of those. We partner with Nationwide Retirement Solutions, and that offers your employees a great way to prepare for retirement. You know, there's a lot of talk about whether or not Social Security will be around. There are a lot of opportunities for how you can invest, but Nationwide has been a trusted partner for many years. I often look at my own county and I find it to be very sad that at this point we only have about 20% of our employees signed up for retirement. It is an ongoing challenge, and it is one that you can step up and take a part of, because I think there's a lot of satisfaction in knowing that you've helped people prepare for retirement. So take advantage of Nationwide. Also, don't forget about the savings the prescription drug card can offer. Counties in Virginia have saved over $14 million for their constituents with the drug card. And recently, NACO has offered a medical services along with a dental services card, and both of these can save constituents between 20 and 70% on the cost of these things. There is a small cost involved in taking advantage of those cards, but the return on investment is very beneficial. So check out the NACO website where you can find more information about these member benefits. I'm going to give a shout out to Karina Golkova. She's our NACO staff person here, and she will be in the exhibit hall at the booth. She can share with you a good deal of information about the kinds of things that you can take advantage of. Among those are also, you can pick up Why Counties Matter, which is really a great piece that you can share with folks, very easy to read. She also has information on our Grants Clearinghouse, which is a way for you to access other funds from other resources. And there's also information about U.S. communities. And through U.S. communities, you can get a discount on many of the things that you need to buy for your county. We had a nice interaction in the exhibit hall yesterday with one of our partners at U.S. Communities who maybe didn't realize that NACO was the beginner of U.S. Communities, and so take advantage of that as well. Our goal is to help you serve your constituents better. It's also to help you save money in your counties, because the fact of the matter is, none of us have large new resources coming in the door, and so we have to learn how to do better with a little bit less. And then as a last resort, if you haven't figured out who to talk to, you can always talk to Kay Broughton, because even though she's not technically working this conference, she's here, you all know her, and you know that she will answer any question that you have, and she will probably answer questions you don't even know that you have. So our goal over the upcoming year is to give you more tools, more research, and more resources so that you can benefit your constituents. And this ultimately brings me to NACO's vision, which is healthy, safe, vibrant, and resilient counties across the United States. My presidential initiative is Ready and Resilient Counties. It's fairly broad. We have a lot of other great initiatives from previous presidents, but the reality is, at some point in your life on the county board, you are going to face a disaster. The disaster might be a man-made disaster, could include hurricanes. You live in Virginia. It is a reality of your life. It could include earthquakes. There was one of those not too long ago here in Virginia. But it also includes man-made disasters. And so the fact of the matter is one might look at sequestration, government shutdown, the housing bust. Those are all things that in reality are disasters. So my question to you is, will you be prepared? Will you be prepared to be the leader in the crisis that your county needs and expects? So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. And I put Jerry Highland on the spot before on this, so I'll see if it's any different than it was a while ago. How many of you have read your county's emergency management plan? Okay, not bad. How many of you have been to an emergency drill in the last 6 months? It's always interesting to me, there are fewer hands up on the emergency drill question than there are on the emergency management plan. And I'm going to tell you why this is important, and I'm going to give you 2 examples. One, Secretary Vilsack is from my home state. I consider him a friend. And one day when we were walking across Iowa on a godforsakenly hot day to plant trees, really? I asked him what was one of the most important things that he learned when he became governor. And he said, you know, I talked to another governor who told me to go home and learn everything I could about emergencies. Because at some point in my term in governor, an emergency was going to happen, and if I didn't know what was going on, there was no faster way to end my term in office than by failing. So I look out at this crowd, and I know many of you. I don't believe you are stupid people. I mean, really? This is something you can do now. And being in that room for the emergency drill is significant, which comes to my second story. In my county in 2008, we had a flood of epic proportions. We had 10 square miles of our downtown underwater. We evacuated a jail, something I never recommend to people, and we evacuated a hospital. Your ability to respond is based on relationships. The relationships that you hold as a county supervisor. The relationships that you build by being in that room for the drill, and the relationships that you build every day in your county. Those relationships are ones that you will need to survive any disaster, because people will expect you to know and solve problems you never in all of your life anticipated. I had a good friend come to me after the floods. I had bought meat from his meat market for 20 years. He wanted to take me downstairs to show his meat lockers, and I will tell you that the stench arising from that basement was about more than I could bear. But he was trying to be a good citizen, and he said, Linda, I can't pump the water out of my basement because it's contaminated. And I said, Mike, you're joking. 1, I'm so sorry, I'm not going down in your basement. And 2, I said, you're going to pump this water out right now, and I'm going to help you find someone who will dispose of this meat. It took me 25 calls through a variety of environmental service agencies to find one, and only one, that would come in. And Mike and some other people that we found for him actually suited up and went and got rid of over 30,000 pounds of meat. Not a good thing. I'm just giving you that idea to help you understand that it's really, I'm not sure that anyone ever talked to you about rotting meat disposal. You know, sorry, I know it's morning, but the reality is you get asked to do things in crisis that you never really thought about. So that's your opportunity, is to think about that. Now let's also go to Hurricane Sandy and think about what happened there. There were people that were weeks and weeks without power. I would challenge you to go home and assess your critical infrastructure, because we as county officials do not own it all. The gas company, the electric company, the water system you may or may not. If those get damaged, what are you going to do? If the electricity goes down, what's the generator backup system that will allow you to keep your information systems working? The only thing that kept our community up in the floods was the fact that we had part of our information system parked with a private company that was on a second floor of a building. That was not planned. It's now planned. It wasn't at the time. And you don't want to have to learn lessons in the middle of a disaster, because they very often don't go well. So think about your critical infrastructure. Who owns it? Who operates it? How will you partner? So I will give you another example. NACO's second vice president is from Colorado, and you may have read that there have been a few wildfires and a few floods in Colorado. And I also serve on the National Academy of Sciences Disaster Roundtable, and so earlier this year, before the second round of floods came, I worked with a guy from UPS Foundation, Joe Ruiz, who wants to figure out a way to partner with counties because UPS does logistics. Now, I don't know about you, but logistics is, I'm not saying we do bad, but I'm just saying it's not a primary function of county government, but it is for UPS. Well, you have to move a lot of things around after a disaster, and all Joe wanted to do was help. Well, we were in the very early stages of that relationship, and by the time I figured out how to get him to the right person in Colorado, the really critical need had passed. But what I do know now is he's going to continue to be a partner for us. So really think about that at home. What will you do? And it's important that you do it now before that disaster comes. So kudos to Virginia and Jim Campbell, who, by the way, I did the first County Leadership Institute more years ago than either one of us want to think about, long ago and far away, but you have a great leadership program here. And I think that that's an important part of being prepared for a crisis, is really understanding your leadership skills and knowing what you can do to reach out to others. So in case you hadn't noticed it, of course you live in Virginia, you're not very far from DC. There is just a tad of partisan gridlock and budget challenges at the US government level that I thank God every day I work at the county level. So if we're going to do anything, it's really going to be under our own steam. We are going to have to help ourselves. We must build the partnerships that allow us to sustain ourselves no matter what happens in the community, no matter what the circumstances. That help and that rescue is very unlikely to come from outside, whether that disaster is natural or man-made. But today's county leaders are the ones that must be able to assess, to prepare, and to respond in this ever-changing world. And we will also have to work with our state and federal partners. So we will keep our legislative team busy working on the Marketplace Fairness Act, the Clean Water Act, and CDBG, among other significant issues such as the Farm Bill and the Transportation Bill. So I want to close with some thank yous. Virginia has been a great NACO partner, and we hope that the few counties who are not members will reconsider and rejoin NACO. We would appreciate getting you back to a 100% state, and you're oh so very close. So I'll just note that a couple of those non-member counties get significantly more in PILT money than you do in what your NACO dues would cost. And NACO is the only, let me repeat, the only federal partner that lobbies on PILT. So if you aren't sure whether your county is getting PILT money, check with Karina. She has that information. Some of you I checked get $8,000, $12,000, $20,000, but your dues may only be $450. And we've come very, very close to losing PILT money over the years. There are also opportunities with US communities and the prescription drug card that really totally offset your membership fees. And as an added bonus, as Kay is always happy to tell you, you have about 70 people working in DC on your behalf. Now, I don't know if you've ever checked what lobbyist and legal counsel cost, but I guarantee you $450 to $1,200 a year will not cut the mustard. So really consider your membership. We appreciate those of you who have been longtime and committed members, and we encourage you to take more advantage of our services. I want to do a particular shout out for the service of Greg Castano from Arlington County, Phyllis Enrico, Jerry Hyland from Fairfax County, Aaron Kennard with the National Sheriff's Association, and Harrison Moody from Dinwiddie County, and they all serve on the NACO board. We appreciate the great job they do of representing your interests. And thank you to Jim Campbell, who has long been a friend while I've been at NACO. He does a great job for you, he does a great job at NACO and with the other state execs. I want to thank many of the members of VACO who serve on NACO steering committees. We so appreciate your service. We cannot do it without you. I see Penny sitting up close there. And if any of you, a couple of you have spoken to me, if you want to be on a steering committee, we would be delighted to have you. You can talk to Jim, you can give your card to me. We really want your involvement. We are better for the participation that you engage with in NACO. So thank you for your warm Virginia hospitality. It has been a pleasure to be in your great state. I do hope to see you in Washington, D.C. at the Legislative Conference in March. It's not very far away, and I get to harass Harrison a little bit because he'll be in D.C. with me as your new board president. And I want to thank Jack for his service as president. It's a commitment to do your service for a year, but you're almost at the end, Jack. And I know everyone appreciates it. I know Harrison will do a great job. So thank you very much. Have a great rest of your conference.